new that have never been done before.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route to do. We the people are free. And I hope we have once again reminded people that man is not free unless government is limited.
Howdy, folks. How are you doing? Hope you're kicking along nicely. I need to clean my glasses, but might have to wait a minute to do that. I don't know why I always discover that just as I'm coming on. I'd like to say it's because I'm concentrating so hard and peering through them, getting the show ready, but that's probably the case. And it's not until I actually get up and have a look at myself on the screen and think, oh, I can't see myself, which isn't a bad thing. There we go. Ah, look, there you are. How are you? Have you had a good day? All together now, folks. I don't know if she's in the chat because I haven't even been over to have a bit of a look. Let me just flip into the chat, get right up the top, see who's in there. Who got in the house first of all? Sandy got in the house first of all, and I was early getting in, just after 5 o'clock the show went up. I hope you're still awake, sweetheart, because I want everybody to wish her a happy birthday. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I sang for her today on the phone, and she I don't know that she fully appreciated it. So, admittedly, it was a bit of a cross between Marilyn Monroe and a disabled person singing Happy Birthday, Mr. President. Didn't quite come across as the way I'd hoped. And at any rate, it gave Sandy a bit of a laugh. It is her birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sandy. Happy birthday to you. There you go, Cameron. Go your hardest with that, mate. And Sandy, I hope you have a lovely day. I know you had a lovely lunch with the wonderful Baz. She likes her seafood, Sandy, so went to a nice seafood restaurant and got a mediocre meal out of it. But at any rate, she is with great company this evening, and I'm sure that after the mojitos and after the beers and after what you may have had for dinner, I trust you've had a bloody good day. Yes, I shouldn't give up my day job singing. Thank you so much. One day I might prove you all wrong, although I'd still probably not give up my day job, so to speak. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening, Sandy, and everything being equal in a beautiful world. John, who's in the house, Chris, who's in the house, Aussie Sue, God love you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, folks. Just give us that thumbs up. We're going to talk tonight about what you turd are going to be doing to not just me, but all content creators moving forward. Let's just suffice to say, if you are thinking that being a content creator on YouTube is going to be a lucrative job in the future, you would be very wrong. And we will discuss that with Vincenzo in the not too distant future. G'day, Paul in WA. Hope you're doing all right, mate. I think What That is in the house. I was talking to him today. He's doing a little bit of moving to and fro, and the foot is recovering. He had a bit of a peel on Wednesday, and it was a bit stingy, is the way he quoted it. And yesterday, basically, had to have a rest day because it was still so sore. Now, they did remove a little bit of skin from the area, but I believe that, not a bad thing. It could just be overgrowth from the graft that he had put on there. But at any rate, it all looks still very positive, and What That is doing magnificently well, and is obviously keeping everybody cheeried in the house tonight. And of course, he would be cheery because he may well have been looking at the price of silver and gold today. Before we get into that, let us bring in the gentleman who we love to have in on a Friday because, well, to be honest, we can't get anybody else. And this bloke has be able to create a whole new audience for himself simply by waving. I mean, it's... And he's managed to confuse AI. I mean, he has managed to confuse AI to a point where when I say, let's do a show tonight, do up a thumbnail that Vince is joining us and yada, 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 it puts up some dashing bloke that, has a nice beard and all these bloody wonderful things. And hang on, for those that didn't see it, I'm going to bring it up just so we can show you how bloody useless AI actually is. I mean, it can sample the show, okay? It can sample the show. It can take a picture of his head and know who Vince is. But this is how it interprets Vince. I mean, fair dinkum, dude. You look like you've just stepped off your Harley.
Mate, that is actually a future picture. AI is drawing a future picture of what it's going to be like because the government has driven us so far under, we can't even afford razors to shave ourselves with. Right? So that's a future prediction. AI prediction.
Very, very good indeed. Now,
I actually like it. I think it looks rather good. Sorry.
Well, yeah, if you could get that sort of full growth happening, I can't. I can get this little skinny bit here. I did notice I'm getting a little few longer ones over here, but that might be because I haven't had a shave in, a week. Yes, not very hirsute.
You can't afford razor blades either.
Well, yeah, that, and I honestly, I don't push out too much by way of whiskers, so I am not a hirsute man by any stretch of the imagination. Don't even have hairy toes.
That's the funniest thing. I struggled to grow a beard. It took me till I was like 31, 32 to actually even be able to grow a beard. And yet my sons are all growing full beards by the time they're 17 years old. How the bloody hell does that happen?
Blame your ex-wife. I would.
No comment.
Well, I couldn't grow this. I could grow a mustache sort of in my 20s, but it was a very soft mustache. It was like one of those 14-year-old boy mustaches, but I was 30 when I had it. And it was ginger, which didn't really help. I could not grow a goatee because I really wanted one. I could not grow a goatee until I was 50.
Oh, really?
And then it took off overnight. I could grow a goatee. But here I have little patches of party hair, I call them. Wasn't even sure that they just weren't hairs growing out of moles or something, or freckles. But like joining the dots, it'd be something a 3-year-old would have a great time with on my face if I was, join the hairs on my sides. Doesn't with testosterone. Thank you, Walter. Of course.
Yeah. Well, isn't it the actual thing that if you have a lot of testosterone, you go bald? Just saying.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yes. We'll stick to that. I'm going to support you, brother. 100%. So for those folks who may be interested in what's happening in the gold and silver markets, let us share a few things with you. Here is the current trading figures for what's going on in the market as we speak this second. Silver is currently trading at $98.19. Gold is well up over 6,000 Australian, and everything is on the up at the moment. Now, I've been following gold and silver now for some time, as you know, and we have seen it reach pretty high peaks in the past. I would suggest that while we've seen a bit of a drop recently, we might be looking at the crawl back here a bit. And if that is the case, could I commend to you wonderful people, take the opportunity now to get an Ainsley Saver account. Nobody says you've got to find whatever it is to go and buy an ounce of silver or a gram or an ounce or a kilo of gold, whatever you can afford. Ainsley Saver account gives you that ability to buy it fractionally. I'll give you an example. I've had my Ainsley Saver account now for over 6 months, probably 8 months or more. And I'll be honest, I haven't put anything into it in the last, 3 or 4 months, just haven't had any money spare to do it. But today I put $50 into it. Now, that $50 has grown since about 12:30 this afternoon. It has grown my balance. Well, $50 got me to a point, right? And in that interim period, which is 6 hours, let's call it now, I have now nearly made $10 on my investment in 6 hours. That's how much it's gone up, an extra $10. It doesn't sound like much, but when you say it, in 6 hours, and by the time the markets actually close tonight, it might be a lot higher. That's making money. So you can do it with as little as $50 with your Ainsley Saver account. If you've got a spare 50, you know how we always keep saying buy in the dip? Well, I think we've seen the bottom of that dip. That was 14 days ago, where the price of silver went back down to $80. The smart money would have been buying it then. I wasn't smart, unfortunately. I'm sure some of you were. But the smart money would have been buying it then, and you would have made $17 per ounce on it in 14 days. That's not bad, and the market is looking strong at the moment. So the market being what it is, it's got other forces that are playing onto it. Those financial forces are sending very mixed signals around the world at the moment, and it's not just in precious metals where the prices have gone mad. Vince, crypto has had a bit of a kick in the bum today too.
Yeah. I just spotted on my phone that it had gone up, roughly $10,000. I don't know what it was yesterday, but that's a big jump. Not that I expect it will stay there. I expect it will come back down again. Someone mentioned that it's a falling dollar. Well, at the moment, our US dollar rate's actually pretty reasonable. It's actually gone up. We now got 72 cents to a US dollar. So don't know which dollar rate they were talking about. Maybe the American dollar? Don't know.
Maybe. The rate at the moment is 71.56 is what I'm seeing here at Ainsley. Actually, let me refresh that. Yeah, 71.58 US dollars. And the gold-silver ratio is at 65.6. So with an arrow pointing down. So that means buy it now if you can, folks. It's just going to appreciate.
Yep.
And
always remember that any advice we give on this channel is not financial advice.
It's not advice at all. It's just simply what I would do if I had the money, and I have done it. That's what I've done today. $50 in that Ainsley Saver account, and it's already grown by $10. Can't argue with that. Is a bank going to do that for you? Probably not. But it is market fluctuating. So, I'm not suggesting if it's not something you can afford, don't do it. You don't have to put money in every week or fortnight or month, but it would help you if you did. I got an email.
Well,
must have been at the start of this week from somebody. Just a second, Vince. I got an email from one of the viewers at the start of this week who is on a pension and took our advice when we first started talking about Ainsley Savers. And he is blown away at the return. He has been putting in money every fortnight off his pension, just $50, right? And he's made whatever changes he's had to make around the rest of his life to accommodate that $50. But he's done it religiously out of his pension every fortnight. And he now is in a position that he never thought he would be in, right, with the wealth that he's accumulating in that Ainsley Saver account. Now, he's not a millionaire, not yet anyway. But you want to know the sweet spot about all of that is that all the taxes that he paid during his working years are now coming back to him in the form of that benefit payment. And he's putting that money to very, very good use for his long-term financial future. Now, I'm not calling that advice. I'm calling that an example of what might be a very smart option.
Well, considering what the government's currently trying to do to the poor people who run self-managed super funds, I mean, after all, they're doing legislation and stuff. They've got the ATO on high alert, all that sort of stuff that's going on right now. I mean, what gives them the right to tell you what to do with your super money? And
well, they've got themselves in a bit of a shit problem because they've signed up to give all our super money from the big super companies to big American super companies. That's part of the placating deal that was done between our governments a little while back. And it started with Scott Morrison and then bled into Albo Creepy. And here we are. Big Super is mortified that Australians are pulling their money out of Australian Super, Cbus Super, the big institutionalized superannuation companies, and they're putting it into self-managed super funds. They're taking their wealth back and putting it in control of themselves. Now, with that comes responsibilities, but that's why you have a financial advisor or you go and see your accountant who will offer you two different points of view on a self-managed super fund. All I would say is use a little bit of logic, and when you're listening to the arguments from either one, view them with a filter of who makes the most out of you with which deal. And I think you will find that a financial advisor will not want to advise you to set up a self-managed super fund, because if you do, they're not going to get a trail back payment off the big super company they were trying to sell you into for the rest of their days.
Yeah.
They're not going to get a cent out of you. So instead, what they'll do is say, oh, well, if you really want to do it, I can set that up for you. It'll cost you a lot, though. And it will. They'll charge you 10 grand or 12 grand or somewhere between 8 and 12 grand. Who knows? Could be more, could be less, a little bit. But they do that because that's how much money they expect to make out of you over the lifetime of whatever they plan to sell you. And they might have 50 or 100 or 200 or 300 people in their portfolio, each paying that amount every month, every week, every year, whatever comes back to them. So, now it's it becomes a real issue for superannuation companies when you start pulling out your super and hiding it under your bed in gold and silver bars, or burying it under trees, or doing whatever else you do. You might build an investment property with it. You might build God knows what, buy something else. Who knows? As long as it's not in their big super account, it can't be sent offshore to America and be at the risk of whatever economic conditions America is under. Because we'd all like to think, and Donald Trump has shown he knows how to run a country and profit, but he hasn't been allowed to, not for a long time. And the markets at the moment, you might say, are hardly being run at a profit. They are being madly run around in circles like chooks with its head cut off. It doesn't know what's going Arthur from Martha. The bond market crashed earlier this week. The Japanese bond market was saved, interestingly enough, and it was saved by the US dollar. So that opens up an interesting round of questions. So there's certainly some very, very intriguing things going on at the moment. And if you want to keep track of your money, if you want to keep track of your earnings, if you want to keep building your own wealth and secure in the knowledge that it is growing, then the only way that you can do that is to take control of it. And I would urge you to talk, maybe at the moment, Freedom Financial Solutions, because the ATO and the ASIC are having a go at them because they have been so successful at getting so many people to take up self-managed super funds that they think that, they've been telling them something they shouldn't be doing. Nothing could be further from the truth. And all that Cass and the team at Freedom Financial Solutions are doing at the moment is protecting your privacy. And I've got to be honest, Cass is the kind of woman that'll go to jail to protect your privacy. And she knows that certainly the ATO inside out. ASIC are just grasping at straws. But as in so many other cases, it is the punishment that is...
Yeah, it's the process.
Yeah, the process that is the punishment. I beg your pardon. Yeah. It's the process that's the punishment. So they're currently going through that. And if anybody's
wondering, that is the current SP 500 charts. As you can see, it's dropped quite significantly. So when you compare that to the silver, and I can find that somewhere on my chart here, silver, that's the silver.
Yeah,
significant difference, right? So, and if you're wondering, that's the BTC.
Oh, there you go. Big spike.
So, yeah.
Big spike. News just out of Perth. A man is going to appear in court charged with threatening to hunt down and kill Pauline Hanson. He was apparently on the phone making these, or not on the phone, I beg your pardon, made them via computer and all that kind of thing while she was over there recently. WA police have run him down, and he will be facing court. And I dare say they are going to make something of an example out of him, Vince.
Well, it should be the same for anybody who wants to hunt down and kill a politician, or anybody for that matter. The charges should be the same. It makes no difference who it is. I'm just surprised that they're actually doing it. I would have thought they would have let that one slide, because that seems to be the, how they work. But I don't know. Do you have another feeling on it?
I think the whole eyes of the country are on Pauline, and while they would probably like to not have to put too much by way of security up around her, she nearly really is at a point now that if something were to happen to her, it would be almost at a level of a prime ministerial assassination. That's how many people in this country would take it. So, so yes, and that they certainly are taking it seriously. At the release of the latest batch of Victorian One Nation candidates for the election, not all of them, just another, I think it was 8 or 10 of them that they put out. That was held at a pretty swanky. Okay, that was held at a pretty swanky restaurant or a hotel in Melbourne. Police in great numbers, heavily armed, were patrolling the streets all around that hotel. Heavily armed were all the way through the ground level of that hotel. The event itself was being held on an upper floor, and you had to pass through about 3 levels of security to get into it. So they weren't taking any risks that, some moron was going to come in and unfurl a flag and start ranting, whatever bullshit they wanted to rant. None of that was going to happen. And I guess it's going to keep going that way. I'll be interested to see what sort of level of security gets put in for Manu. Manu is just a footy ground. Yeah, it'll be pretty significant, I would think. Yeah, it'll be pretty significant. So you've got a reason as to why they're releasing the candidates in dribs and drabs?
Yep, a couple of reasons, actually. One is because obviously they're still going through a fairly strict process on who they are getting, etc. Secondly, that if you just go and released 88 candidates in one big foul swoop, it doesn't give the candidates any press time, right? Because you've got all of them at once, right? But if you just release them in dribs and drabs, it gets them a chance to be on the news, to get their face known, to get out there amongst the people, start talking to them, and it's done in stages. And I think it's actually a very smart political move.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Otherwise, 88 candidates like that, well, confusion. It's like we don't put too much on the merch store at once, because if we do, it's oversold. People can't choose.
Nobody buys anything. Yeah.
So, and thank you to those people who bought something this week. That's helped us get the balance above zero. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. We haven't reached triple figures yet, but the balance is above zero. So
that's right.
Got to be happy about this.
So I don't know whether we want to stay in the political section here at the moment, or whether we want to move on. But I'd like to stay political.
I'd like to stay political just for a moment. I was going to have John Armfield in here this evening. We've had John on before. John is a veteran, a Navy veteran. He's a former diver for the Navy, and he has been put through hell by the Defence Forces throughout the latter part of his career, in part through the actions of his brother, who was in the RAF and committed suicide. Now, John has been fighting for veterans' rights, and particularly for recognition of a variety of things that currently are not medically recognised by DVA. And he, along with a group of other veterans, a large group of veterans, attended Canberra on Wednesday for what they hoped would be a series of meetings, culminating in one with the Defence Minister, Keogh, from the Labor Party. Keogh refused to meet them initially, Now, this, I don't know who this piece of filth actually thinks that he is, but he refused to meet them initially. Luckily, they were met by a number of other politicians, I think from the coalition. I think One Nation, somebody from One Nation might have snuck past them as well. However, they were roundly welcomed by every other party except the minister, the Labor minister in charge. Now, eventually this prick was embarrassed after questions in question time and press meetings and all sorts of things thrown up afterwards. He eventually, around about 5:30, agreed to a meeting. When he turned up to that meeting in a conference room at Parliament House, he was in a shitty mood. He refused to shake hands with our veterans. He refused to shake their hands. Then he sat in the chair, arms crossed, and was almost monosyllabic in his answers. Made it very clear that he would rather be anywhere else, or not, maybe not anywhere else. He would rather be at the Governor General's for drinks, which is where all the rest of his Labor criminal cronies were, having drinks with the Governor General. All in all, I guess the veterans, after paying for another night's accommodation and paying to change their airfares, because originally they flew in on the Tuesday night, I think, had meetings Wednesday and were flying out Wednesday. And because this minister screwed them around at the last minute, they stayed and did meet with him Wednesday evening at 5:30. But by then, no flights out of Canberra were going to be good enough. So another night. Then they came back to Canberra the next day and held a press conference at Parliament House to explain what exactly happened and the level of disrespect that Keogh bastard showed our heroic veterans. Dan Keogh has to go. I think his name's Dan. I don't care whatever he is, Keogh. This federal member for bullshit, he needs to go. I don't know what his background is, whether or not he has a background in defence. I plan on doing a bit of a dive on this bloke over the weekend, because I have in the back of my head that he has also been the Special Minister of State for the Labor Party. And the Special Minister of State is a nameless, faceless bastard that sits in the back, up the back. You don't ever really get to hear too much about them, but they're always very useful when it comes to election time. And you might find that if this is the fella I think it is, it'll be his signature that is at the bottom of the election writ authorising it, not the signature of the Governor-General. The Governor-General's signature falls in the witness position.
Yeah.
So
there has to be something done about that, surely. But once again, we know it's a corrupt government, corporate government, bits and pieces. And
of course, they put through the ASIO amendment bill yesterday, which was done in a backroom deal, another backroom deal, a Labor Liberal backroom deal. But Albo Sleazy had this to say about it. This is going back to around 2000, where the Liberals were trying to do something like this. What this legislation represents is a threat from the inside. It represents a threat to every democratic values, which we say distinguish us from authoritarian, undemocratic regimes. That was Albo's feeling, but clearly he's changed his position, Vince.
Oh, really? That seems to be a common trait for him.
Yeah, prick.
We've changed our position. We've changed our position. You could just say we fucking lied. But anyway,
you could, but then, you know, who's going to do that? Nobody, as it turns out. Pauline Hanson raised over $5 million on the back of Get Fire the Liar. So, you know, I think we should still be chanting that every time this pumpkin of a human being puts himself out in the public arena. He should be made to remember that. But anyway, enough of my ranting. What were you going to rant about? Your turn.
Well, there's so many things that we look at the moment. One of which I'll play a little thing from Senator Antic, who's obviously a Liberal senator, but one of the only two Liberal senators who voted against that particular bill that just went through. All the rest of them walked out the door, which is really stupid. And it proves a point that I wish to make. We can't if we're going to deal with this corporate government, then we've got to be because we're taxpayers, right? So that means that we own a share, right? We've got to go and basically remove the board of executives. And the only way we can do that at this stage is to vote them out without literally going and knocking down the building and raiding their houses and everything else that comes with the wrong type of reaction. But we need to be able to vote them out. And with Liberal Party walking out the door, not voting, there was no chance this bill could ever get squashed, except for those two that did. So for everybody out there who's in a freedom movement who says, oh, voting for the government because it's a corporation is wrong, you are the Liberal Party walking out the door. You don't even give the other people who want to remove the bad arseholes from the bench up in the corporate towers a chance, because you won't put your name to it. So that's part one. Here's part two. And I've got to turn my mic off to do this.
All right, well, I'm walking back from the Senate chamber after the vote on my order for production of documents regarding the new mRNA flu vaccine, and there's often a lot of surprises in this building, but the least surprising thing to happen to me in a long time was Labor and the Greens voting against that order for production of documents. We was looking for basically documents about the evaluation of that vaccine, it's a new mRNA flu vaccine that TGA were evaluating. I wanted to see the documents. Let's see what's being done. But we didn't get them, but not going to stop trying.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is exactly the point. We, as the people who are paying the salary, who are making these contracts, because we are the people who are paying these contracts, we should have access to every single document. It should be freedom of information. It's ours. We are the owners, not the friggin' corporate government, because the shareholders are the owners. So, and he's just pointing out that point, right? Why can't we see what's going on? Right? We're part of that contract. So once again, I'm going to raise this. If you think that Liberal, Labor and Greens have done a fantastic job of running this country, which hit $1 trillion of debt today, and the apparent payment that's going out is 29.5 billion, that's going to drop it below $1 trillion, right? For a short time anyway. If
till tomorrow morning.
If you think these guys are doing a fantastic job, then you can vote for that corporate board to stay in there. But maybe it's time we removed the whole board and grabbed another significantly strong political party, not individuals, because they're individuals within the party, but they're not individual people, because we need a party to wipe out the other parties. The individuals aren't going to do that. We've tried that for the last 3 elections. Doesn't work. So we need a brute force, solid punch into that corporate area and put somebody who we know is going to talk to us plainly and give them a go. Upon failing that, then we've only got one option left. But in the meantime, if you're not going to vote, then shut up. You don't have a right to say shit. All right? But if you're thinking that, okay, I won't vote on principle, but maybe I should in this one so that I can give weight to a possibility of change without violence, then this is going to be the elections to do it. In Victoria, in New South Wales, and federally. And we need to get out there and do it. Is One Nation going to do everything right? Probably not. But it's going to be a damn sight better, I believe, than what's actually going on right now with the current bullshit government. And as I said the other week, Liberal, you had your chance for the last 10, 20 years to fight against this government. But for the last 5 or 6, you have been with them every step of the way. You lost your right to get our vote. Okay, sorry, done it. That's my 3-minute rant.
And very decent of you to be ranting that way. Couldn't agree more with you. We've got one of our favorite trolls has joined us tonight. He's got mate named David Hurley wants a shout out to him.
Oh, right. Good. What, where?
I know where I'd like to shout David Hurley, mate. And if he's your mate, you deserve to
I
be
didn't even
shouted
see that
exactly
one.
the same way.
Is that the David
So,
Hurley who pretends to be David Hurley in the Gmail chat, who's not really David Hurley at all unless he's had a deep hole name change? Or maybe he
no,
isn't David Hurley.
this is Can You Hear Me, mate? So,
This guy.
so always
Would
a
you
bit of
like
fun.
him to be muted? Because I can do that in 2 seconds flat.
Look at the power look at the power you have, Vincent. Here's what he thinks of it. He can't even spell LOL right. I mean, that goes to show the mentality of what we're dealing with here. Twice. Or maybe LUL means something I'm unaware of. Laugh
I don't know it
unloud.
either.
Laugh unloud. Be a
This
snicker,
gentleman is coming from our wonderful Rumble channel, so
yes.
It's good to know that we've got him in there. But thank you
And
very
it's nice
much.
to see that he's joined the Rumble family of some 4,000 odd folks that we've got sitting on there. So nice to have you join that.
Right.
Very nice.
Yeah. It could be the same gentleman I stopped the other night, but come back under a different name, which is fine. Yes.
Could well be.
Stop Aussie
Bloody good
farmers
news.
from being...
Victorian farmers have had, they've had a win, sort of. The two people who have been involved up until now with stripping the rights of Victorian farmers from them and giving them to an electricity company so they can come on and vandalise some of the best farming land in Victoria. Breaks might be going on that a little bit. Now, while there is a new minister in charge of all of this, she is refusing to rescind the $800+ fines that 12 farmers have received. One farmer has received 2 of those fines because they were planning on going to 2 of his properties that day. They've obviously let it be known that they won't be paying those fines. Now, the Victorians State Liberal Party and coalition have now come out in support of the idea that One Nation put forward and made very clear very early on that should they be elected in Victoria, they would be moving to quash VNI West and the other fabricated green money pit sucking projects that are being put across Victoria. From solar to wind power, it has all been exposed as a phenomenal rort, all under the brand of climate crying. And Chris Bowen is now having a few problems with his portfolio because his own party now are gagging him. The last thing that the Labor Party needs is for Chris Bowen to be getting out in front of people and speaking climate crap, because it's not going to look good when he is exposed by the people for the lunatic, the climate crier that he is. Now, you might remember that I said they've forked out $47 million to help with Fiji and an AIDS problem that they're having on Fiji. There was another handout of some $120 odd million to a Fijian government / resort, which is going to host a pre-COP. That's one of those climate crying conferences, a pre-COP conference, because Turkey has got the COP conference. Remember, Australia was bidding for that to happen in Adelaide. I think they put in a bid of $131 million or something for it. They're going to fly every climate crying, whinging, pink-haired dickhead from around the world to Adelaide, where sadly they would fit in very, very well, and hold a 4-day conference on our dime, $131 million. But thank you for the coffee. Thanks, Al. Really appreciate it. So on our dime, they were going to spend this money, $131 million of it. But no, there was a big kick up here in Australia about it. Instead, what's this bastard gone and done? $47 million for AIDS and $120 for a COP conference that nobody No significant world leader has RSVP'd to. Because, funnily enough, most world leaders would be very cognizant of the fact that their economies right now are screwed, and that needlessly flying a troop of blue-haired leftist muppets to a tropical island in the middle of the South Pacific for a 4-day wank fest probably isn't going to go down with their constituents either. But this numbnuts Bowen says, oh no, we're going to do it. So he is insisting on pushing forward. Of course, the money now has been trimmed back a bit. Now it's $20 million that they're going to give the Fijian government for the COP conference. I would have thought that's a pretty handy pickup for a Fijian resort, and obviously a lot of new canoes for the Fijian parliament.
Yeah. Well, they get the money, not us. Oh, hang on. Don't we want money here in Australia for our people? Just a thought.
Oh, God, no. If we wanted that, we wouldn't be sending our super off to America so that the Americans can enjoy the benefits of having our superannuation put forward to it.
Oh, I'm so
and
sorry,
you've got to remember that all this is being done by the bunch of muppets that forked out $96 million for this. This was the updated Bureau of Meteorology website. Now, this is an image that was taken, obviously, of Victoria yesterday. And the next image I show you was taken of Victoria at exactly, well, within 30 seconds of the image that you're currently seeing being taken. But the next image I'll show you was taken off the old bomb site, not this new 96.7 million piece of crap that you're currently looking at. But remember, this shot that you're looking at was taken, and let's call it at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. It wasn't, but let's call it 3 o'clock. This next shot that I'm going to show you was taken at 3 o'clock and 30 seconds.
Big difference. Big difference.
A phenomenal difference. Now, how on earth the Bureau of Meteorology can claim anything other than a screw up with this, I don't know. And I think they did say, yeah, okay, we've screwed up. But the only consolation they've made is to put up there is a link to the old website. Now, if you want that old website, I saved it today somewhere. There it is. Let me open it up in a new tab and I'll copy and paste it so that you can go and have a look at it yourselves. It's a very handy thing to have. I'll post that up into the chat right now. So that's a fairly long link, but this will get you to the old Bureau of Meteorology website, which is still current, and the radars are current. Thank you, Aussie Sue. God love you. Happy Friday. Every little bit does help, and we can't thank you and Pipe Master enough for your contributions this evening. And of course, folks, if you would like to get something in return for your contribution, you can just go to our merch website, merch.vofhq.com/shop, and have a look. There's a couple of new shirts, there's a couple of new cups, and a couple of old cups that if you haven't got them, they'll be new to you. If you like new and interesting words, we've got the Kakistocracy series, which we've got to add to. It must be time for a new
we've got to find another one. We want 5 in the series, and we've got 3, so we need 2 more words that mean the same thing and deal with the same topic. But at this stage, we haven't. So if you've got any words, please email them to either Vince or Carl at vofhq.com, and we will see if we can find a design for it.
Absolutely. Now,
by the way, our friend from Rumble is now no longer talking. Just letting you know.
There you
go. Oh shit! Wonder who did that.
Speaking of corruption, New Zealand. I'm not sure if this happened in Indonesia or Thailand or somewhere thereabouts, but there was a bust recently. And what you're looking at there is a portion of 79 bars of gold, 79 1 kilo bars of gold. There was also a very large US dollar cash portion of what they found here. And all of this money was found in the possession of a senior governmental bureaucrat who was tasked with making things happen inside the government. And he was identified through security services or whatever. Nobody is suggesting that all of that gold and all of that money was for him. He was the conduit to be paying off other corrupt officials. So watch this space. There could be a very large number of government officials. Once again, I'm sorry, I can't tell you if it was Indonesia or Thailand where this happened. But watch this space. Could be very interesting indeed. Thank you, Ange. $10. Shit, 2 coffees this week, Vince. You're not going to stop.
Well, yeah, we've got some discussion about that to come up. I'm not sure if you're quite ready for that area yet. We're 45 minutes into the show. What did we learn recently? He's sitting there puzzling about the very thing that we're working on right now.
Oh, you've got me.
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube.
The plans for YouTube.
Yes, well, that's true. We can go ahead and talk about the plans for YouTube. Their plan is to screw us. I think that's all we need to say.
Not just us, but everybody, every content creator who does not have super big channels over the next couple of years are going to find that they're going to lose all of their what little payment they get from advertisers. I mean, we don't get a huge amount for 11,000 people. It's a couple $100 a month if you're lucky, right? But it does help pay the costs of websites, etc. Just, well, sort of, not actually.
Sort of.
But the whole issue being that they're going to expect creators in the future to be doing their own promotion, their own inboard ads. So there'll be more ads in the programs. And we already see this with the big creators because they need to have those sponsorships to keep themselves going with staff, etc. But the long-term process, and it raises a good question, actually, because thank you very much, Tony.
Thank you, brother.
Mean, right, that like YouTube, for anybody who subscribes to the channel and does a donation like this, does this mean that they're still going to take their 30% of this? So
every chance
while we've got a wonderful $20 there, thank you very much. 30% of that's going to YouTube.
Just I don't know. Is it that much?
It's 30%. I looked up the figures.
Yeah, right.
All right. So, but they're going to start taking all those options away from us. They're not going to be paying ad revenue cents for any of the ads they play before or through the middle of the things. All that's going to go. So that's going to mean that the content creators like us, who are small fish, right, we're not going to be able to make anything at all unless we go and put ads in our program, which is something we've sort of been talking about because we do need to get more money in. Or they have to have their own membership platforms or their own whatever.
See, we don't have the benefit of Carl Stefanovic's 25 years on a national television platform to gain a subscriber base. And while I was in mainstream media, I was in what would ostensibly be local media, radio across this nation, unless you're with the ABC, is all local, or it used to be when I was in it. At any rate, these days it's very decentralized. But it's a bit of an issue when you are doing the kind of work that we're doing, and it's not easy to get enough stuff to talk about for an hour. I guess it probably is. If you just want to go through and screen and grab stuff from everybody else, I guess that's probably doable on a regular basis. But it does mean you're sitting down for 8 hours or more every day, looking at other people's content, trying to think out what you can steal rather than try and generate your own or generate something out of somebody else's idea. Yes, you can send donations directly so YouTube doesn't get 30%. Diane, you can go to vofhq.com. You can click on the donate button there, and in there you will find a bank account, which you can donate directly into if that's what you choose to do. It's
And
wonderful,
also,
though, if you... Sorry, Vince.
and even if you do it via Stripe, I mean, it's a 35-cent fee and a small 1% or 2% max. So
Yeah.
we get a lot more out of it than that.
Yeah.
The next one, which is actually relevant, Vince, we need to move you to Rumble. I've been investigating Rumble this last couple of weeks. Rumble is very, very interesting in that they do have a $5 membership option. And Rumble says that if you're a $5 member per month, that whole $5 will go to the creator, which is a nice thing. However, the only way to get the membership up on there is rather complicated and has to be done through the Rumble Studio Live. Of course, we're not using Rumble Studio to create this, even though we're going live. So I don't know what they're going to do on that front of things. So, yeah, but I mean, we have 3,500 people on Rumble right now. There's 3.64Ks are following Ozai on Rumble. All right. So, and the minuscule sense that appears on that 3,000 is, yeah, minuscule. And the costs of everything
I think
we've got,
I don't think we've ever got more than maybe 42 or 52 cents out of Rumble. It's not, Rumble is not anything like a YouTube when it comes to earning, or what you used to be able to earn on YouTube back well before I started on it. So Rumble is still in the beginnings, and so too is BitChute. If you're unfamiliar with BitChute, bitchute.com. It's another platform. It is. It looks a little more rudimentary than YouTube and Rumble, and that's because the creator of it is on the bones of his ass. Even being a millionaire, it's costing him a lot of money to keep BitChute up and going, and he's looking to secure membership there as well. And you do find a lot of hidden stuff that you won't find on Rumble or YouTube in that part of the world as well. I want to talk tonight. Sorry?
Before you do, there's a lot that goes into this sort of stuff that people probably don't understand. For instance, FBN, which is not monetized at all in any way, doesn't get any money at all at this stage. And the only money that it's been getting has been courtesy of Carl, effectively, in this show. But the websites that we run, the Voice of Freedom website, the merch site, the website for FBN, all of that costs money. Now, I'll just give you an estimate. I'm paying out roughly $250 a month to run that, along with some other sites as well. All right. So there's $250 a month just to keep those websites plus those others I've got running up. Yeah. So that gives you a bit of an idea. And, you know, that's because we have full domains and we have full emails and we control that. And we need to keep that control, because otherwise, you know, anybody can shut us down at any time. So that's just one part. But then we've got our broadcasting costs, like the StreamYard costs. We've got the costs for what I've just moved into, which is a different one, which I'm just testing out. And I should be sending out a test message soon on that. We've got those costs. We've got the costs for the Telstra connection that Carl's using. We've got the costs for the what's it called? Elon Musk's wonderful satellite connection. I'm having a Starlink, right? Those costs are in there. But why do we need the Starlink and the Telstra? Because there are places that Telstra doesn't work, and that's why the Starlink's there. So when he's back on the road, that becomes a cost. So I don't know about how we, as a group or as a family, are going to promote this to get us ahead enough to actually move forward without hammering you guys with in-place ads. So if you've got any ideas, please feel free to come forward with them.
Or if you have a business and you want us to help promote your business, then let us do a deal for you.
Yeah,
you can do that.
We'd happily do that, and we can and we'll do it by general talking about business, etc. I mean,
yeah, we're not going
It's-
to ram businesses down people's throats. I would hope, when you hear me talking about Ainsley, I mean, I'm talking about Ainsley because there's a benefit in it for you.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
not
well, we're
because
not
they're
going to
paying me
advertise
fucking,
something.
yeah.
We're not going to do
It's not
something
because they're
that doesn't
paying me
have a
uber amounts
benefit.
of money to force stuff down your throat. That isn't the case. So, I wish it was, but that isn't the case. Oh, now listen. Just speaking of gold and silver, before I move on, I reckon, and Pete from Pinaroo will be the bloke that would be better off confirming this, but I think the Perth Mint around this time of year starts releasing new collectible coins. And
Okay.
it's the lunar, I think, that is due, and it is the year of the goat that is coming out. So Ainsley will be the exclusive, well, they usually are, the exclusive outside the Perth Mint dealer for those coins, that lunar series, the Chinese lunar series. So watch this space. As soon as I see them available, I will let you know. But if you're into those sort of collectible coins, lunar series coins are about to come. Well, I think they'll be this month, next month. It's usually around about this time the Perth Mint does this stuff. So
What do you mean by lunar series? Is that like the animal series?
yes, yeah. So it's the Chinese lunar series. So
okay.
Lunar New Year.
Tony
Yeah.
just answered. Huh.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we should buy some of these and give them to our politicians. As a goat.
Yeah, they'd probably think it was greatest of all time gift.
I wonder if we could make some fake ones and send. No,
Instead, we could send it. We could send goat. Get off your ass, you turd.
Yeah, that'll work. Well, I wonder how much it takes to repeal a law. How much process would it go? Yeah, well, I'm thinking that too. If that's a matter of just we wish to repeal this current ASIO law, and one nation has the parliament, and they're pretty much going to repeal it because they don't like it.
Yep.
And they all go, aye.
It's gone.
It's done.
That's what was in my letter.
Quicker.
I wrote that too. I wrote that along with the fact that what they were voting in for, these politicians, by putting and allowing this coercive intimidation and interview thing happening for ASIO, I said, what you're doing here is putting yourself in the frame to be put in the room and have these coercive powers used against you in the future.
Yep.
But the problem you'll have is it won't be your mates who are there right now waiting for this power, asking the questions. It'll be patriots.
Comes around.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I said we also live very comfortably in the knowledge that anything you vote into being, we can vote out. So,
yep. Well, if I ever got in that position, Carl, I'm going to pull a Dan Andrews.
What, get a statue or drive over a kid?
No, neither of those two. No. I'm just going to go
right.
exactly the same thing he used. I can't remember. That's a Dan Andrews.
Remember.
I can't remember. I
can't remember. I don't remember. Yes, you're right. I can't recall. Got a lot of feedback from people the other night who were very interested in that video, that short video that I played. There has been another one put out. Now, take from this what you will, folks. But if you ever get an offer to go to the Pulp and Peel Nightclub, be prepared.
Joining the Illuminati, a beautiful kamikaze. Welcome to the after party. Rick just burning. The whole world is learning. Meanwhile, I'm returning to the underground palace, crystalline and callous, sipping something orange from the never-ending chalice. So meet me down at the comes to the pulp and peel. I'm gonna lose my face at the pulp and peel. Fantasies finally real. The surface is plastic, tell me how does it feel? So meet me down at the pulp and peel. Pulp and peel. Pulp and peel. Nothing's real. We're in the real. Meet me down at the pulp and peel. McLaren and the drink, vanished in a blink. World above is morning, while we're clinking, clink to clink. Bilateral table, shadow delegation. Every member present stage their own assassination. Change your name, change your past. First life's over, this one lasts. I'm gonna lose my face at the pulp and peel, where the dead are dancing and the fake is real. So real, too real. The surface is plastic, tell me how does it feel? So meet me down at the pulp and peel. Pulp and peel. Go up a body. Hello Illuminati. Terror more. Superstore. Alive, 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 alive. Surprise. I'm gonna lose my face at the pulp and peel. When the pain is finally real. When the fantasies plastic, tell me how does it feel? Punch your ticket to the world at the pulp and peel. Pulp and peel. Pulp and peel. Nothing's real, because the dead don't die. We just renew. And baby, there's room for you. Ways like it's let me in. The big chance to ride the fight. The dead don't die. We just renew.
How good's that?
They're very creative. It's amazing what they're doing with them today.
It's amazing what you can do with AI, especially really good AI.
Yeah.
I haven't been through that frame by frame yet. I will go through it. There's going to be a lot of interesting stuff on screens in the background to read there. And there's a lot of very, very hyper fast edits. These are edits that you wouldn't ordinarily see in television or movie production, not even in video clip production, because they border on subliminal. So that's why it's very important that you go through these things frame by frame. If you can, you try and record them in the highest frame rate you can. And there's all sorts of interesting things. So if I get some time over the weekend, I might kick off through that. And thank you, Tony, for the commentary, pointing out the reptilians, the greys, the draconians.
I thought I was in a sci-fi movie for a minute there. Now we realize it's a music video that's done by AI. So, but
it's pretty wild shit.
Did remind me though that while we're speaking of little videos, if you haven't watched the latest One Nation cartoon, I tell you, I'm halfway through the middle of it and I literally cracked up in one section. I had to stop it because I was laughing too bloody hard. Anyway, so go watch that.
Sit down, you dog. Sorry.
Sit down. Oh, it's the dog. You'll get it when you see it. Yeah,
you'll get it when you see it.
You'll get it.
And before we go, it is a cute song. And before we go, I want to play something that is something if you have friends or family who are serving as police officers in particular, but if you have friends or family who are serving in our defense forces, if you have friends or family who are serving in public positions of authority, I want you to show them this video. I hope to have a bit of a chat next week with somebody who's very not close to the video as such, because I made that, but there is a poster at the end of this, and it is a very important message that's being put forward. keep this in mind. And if you do have friends and family who are involved in authoritarian jobs in this country, I urge you to have them watch this over the weekend. I will be uploading it. In fact, it will have already premiered on the YouTube channel 6 minutes ago. But here it is, just for our Voice of Freedom audience to have a look at. During the war, soldiers entered the village and raped all the women. Only one woman resisted the soldier who broke into her home. She struck back, killing him and cutting off his head. After the soldiers left, all the women came out of their houses crying and holding up their torn clothes, except for the woman who was fighting. She came out carrying the soldier's head in her hands. Her eyes were full of pride, and she said, "Did you really think I was going to let him rape me without killing him or him killing me?" The women of the village looked at each other and decided to kill her so that she would no longer be proud of her honor, and so that their husbands, when they returned home, would not ask them why they didn't resist like she did. She was attacked and killed. They killed honor so they could live with their shame. The same is happening with corrupt people in our society today. They destroy and isolate every honest person so that there are no witnesses to their corruption. Sadly, that's exactly what they do. They destroy the good amongst us. And a very, very good former New South Wales police officer, former senior constable Michelle Carlin, has been through hell. She was part of Operation Eckersley, and that, for those that aren't aware, was a police operation mainly focusing on child abuse. While she was part of that operation, she found systemic problems inside the task force. That task force was tasked, she thought, to protect children. It turned out it was more engaged in protecting the perpetrators of those crimes. And she took it to the bosses, and from there on, her life changed dramatically in not good ways. So I'm hoping Michelle will come on next week and have a chat. There is a GoFundMe link for Michelle in the description of this show. If you choose to help Michelle, she's in a position where she does need help. She has a young son who's had 3 open heart operations. He's in care. She's in a palliative state as well. She has a significant gastrointestinal issue. And of course, the government have defunded her completely. They have closed her bank accounts. They can't access any government funding through Centrelink or anything like that. They have ostracized this former policewoman, all because she had the guts to stand up and blow the whistle on the corrupt officers around her. At least that's what's alleged. We'll never know, because I don't think they're ever going to let it get to court.
No, and alleged also she had the opportunity of getting $1 million to stay silent, and she chose her morals above everything else. So there's quite a bit that's involved in that, and that was part of the reason why I was talking about Alex Antic and let the information come out, because when you start to try and research some of her claims, they're all hidden. There seems to be no document anywhere on it, and that part is what really pisses me off. I mean, as journalists, we should be able to come out, because some of you're more opinion based, I'm more journalistic based, right? We should be able to get that information out there to the world, and we're not getting it. So all we can do is assume things, and assumptions can get us into trouble, as you would well and truly know. But with that, guys, I'm going to say, look, let's not end on a bad note. We've got a very interesting weekend coming up next weekend. So we'll be out there with the Fight the Farmers. I'll be down there trying to do my journalistic bits and pieces and seeing if we can get out. with that, I'm also going to see if I can chase up some of these South Australian members over here who have now had a couple of months in Parliament. And I'll see if I can get a couple of them to come on and give us a little bit of a lowdown on what it's like to be a normal person in this government bureaucracy. It should be very interesting. So I'm hoping those will be coming up shortly. So FBN will be back on channels. I've sorted out my head and, well, I shaved my head. No, sorry, I sorted out my head and I'll hopefully have some of that back for you shortly. So, and thank you to all the guys who brought me over at 105 on Facebook. So now I can stream there live as well. So thank you very much.
Yay!
And from me, I'm going to say good night.
Good night, Waving Wonder. Lovely to have him as always. Vincenzo off for a weekend of, well, he'll be awake this weekend because he was asleep for the last two, so we're hoping he'll be back. Before I go tonight, folks, just one picture I would like to share with you. Pauline Hanson out doing her bit for Australia. She's been in New South Wales, regional New South Wales, Dubbo and other areas in the last few days. I don't know if that's a real gun, but God bless her if it is. Just think that's tremendous. And keep an eye out over the weekend for any strange, weird and wonderful happenings. If you see something that we should know about, by all means, email me, carl@vofhq.com. And if you are heading out on the roads this weekend, as always, it will be filled with dickheads. It would be certainly in your best interests to avoid them at all costs. Have a great one. Bye.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rock!